My friend, let me begin with this truth that will shake the very ground under your feet. Not every person who smiles at you, not every hand that reaches for yours, not every word that sounds like love is real love. There are people who come into your life wearing the mask of affection, but behind that mask lies deception, selfishness, and destruction. And when you ask, why God? Did they leave me? Why did they betray me? Why did the one I thought cared for me vanish like smoke in the wind? You must understand that sometimes the very absence you mourn is the evidence that God is at work. God removes fake love before He sends real love. Because the false must be torn down before the true can be established. God does not allow His children to be bound forever to counterfeit affection. Listen closely. Fake love looks like light, but it carries the shadow of darkness. Fake love feels like comfort for a moment, but it leaves you empty and broken. Fake love is the trap of the enemy, designed to waste your time, weaken your spirit, and destroy your confidence. But God in His mercy never allows His chosen ones to remain trapped in what is false. He will pull it away. He will expose the lie. He will remove the one who pretends to care for you, but has no intention of honoring you, respecting you, or walking with you in truth. That removal is not rejection, it is protection. That empty space in your life where someone once stood is not a punishment from God. It is preparation for something far greater. For God never subtracts without the intention to multiply. He never closes one door without preparing another. He never removes what is false unless He has something real, lasting, and divine waiting for you. So many of you have cried on your pillow at night, wondering why the person who once held your hand suddenly let it go. You asked why the friend you trusted turned into the enemy you never expected. You asked why the love you thought was permanent ended in heartbreak, and you thought God had abandoned you. No, He had not abandoned you. He was rescuing you. He was clearing your path. He was cutting away the weeds so that the flowers could bloom. He was removing fake love before sending real love. Because if you remain tied to what is fake, you would never have the room, the strength, or the clarity to receive what is real. Fake love cannot stand in the presence of God's plan. Fake love cannot endure the fire of testing. Fake love cannot hold up when storms come. It collapses under pressure. It disappears when sacrifice is required. It runs when trials appear. And God in His wisdom knows that if you build your future upon that foundation, it will crumble. So He tears it down before you waste years of your life. God will let people reveal themselves. He will let betrayal come forth. He will let dishonesty be uncovered, not to break you, but to free you. Because you cannot be bound to lies and still walk in truth. You cannot be tied to fakes and still receive the genuine. You cannot keep what is counterfeit and still hold what is pure. Let me tell you this. Sometimes God answers your prayers with removal. You prayed for love and someone left. You prayed for companionship and a friendship ended. You prayed for loyalty and betrayal showed up, and you asked God, why? God said, I am answering you. I am showing you what is not for you, so I can bring you what is. Every tear you cried was not wasted. It was washing away the residue of the fate. Every sleepless night you endured was not meaningless. It was purging your heart, preparing it for what is true. Every painful ending was not the end of your story. It was the beginning of God's new chapter. Real love cannot be found while your hands are full of counterfeits. Real love cannot enter until fake love is gone. Real love cannot thrive in a heart poisoned by betrayal. That is why God removes first. That is why He takes away what you thought was love but was only manipulation. That is why He removes what you thought was devotion but was only convenience. That is why He strips away what you thought was loyalty but was only self-interest. Because God's love for you is too great to let you settle for less. His plan for you is too powerful to let you remain tied to what is temporary. His destiny for you is too important to let you waste it on what was never meant for you. And when God sends real love, it does not break you. It builds you. It does not vanish in the night. It endures in the morning. It does not weaken your spirit. It strengthens your soul. Real love comes with peace, not chaos. Real love comes with respect, not manipulation. Real love comes with honor, not humiliation. Real love is patient, steadfast, and unshakable because it is rooted in God's timing and established by His hand. And when God sends it, you will not have to beg for it, chase it, or compromise for it. You will not have to wonder if it is true. You will know because it will carry the signature of God Himself. But first, God will test you with removal. He will test you with loss. He will test you with separation. He will test you by allowing the mask to fall off the one who pretended. He will test you by letting the words of love prove empty. He will test you with silence where once there was noise, not to destroy you, but to refine you. Not to punish you, but to prepare you. Because God does not want you to simply receive love. He wants you to recognize real love. He does not want you to accept whatever comes your way. He wants you to discern what is true. He does not want you to mistake temporary attention for eternal commitment. He wants you to know the difference. And the only way to know is to see the counterfeit exposed. My friend, there is a reason why God allows the false to fall away before the true appears. God is not cruel when He lets someone walk out of your life. He is merciful. He is not silent when you wonder why things ended. He is speaking through circumstances. He is not punishing you by removing them. He is protecting you by guiding you. And you must see it with the eyes of faith, not the eyes of flesh. Because in the flesh, you will cry for what you lost. But in the spirit, you will rejoice for what you escaped. What looked like heartbreak was actually a rescue mission by God. What looked like rejection was divine redirection. What looked like the end of your story was the clearing of the stage for the entrance of something greater. Fake love, my friend, is dangerous because it distracts you from God's purpose. It consumes your time, your thoughts, your strength. And it blinds you from recognizing what God truly has for you. That is why God does not tolerate it in the lives of those He has called for higher things. He will break it even if you beg Him not to. He will strip it away even if you cling to it with all your strength. He will let it fall apart even if you built it with your own hands. Because He knows that if you keep it, it will corrupt you. If you hold on to it, it will drain you. If you cling to it, it will steal your destiny. God's love for you is so powerful that He will allow you to experience temporary pain so that you may avoid eternal damage. Do not be deceived by appearances. Fake love looks convincing on the outside. It says the right words. It smiles at the right moments. It pretends to care. But God sees beyond the surface. He searches the heart. He knows the motives hidden behind the smile. He knows the selfishness behind the compliments. He knows the betrayal lurking behind the promises. And when God reveals what you cannot see, when He exposes what was hidden, you may feel broken. But you are being saved because you cannot walk with lies and expect to arrive at truth. You cannot cling to darkness and expect to find light. You cannot accept fake love and still be ready for the real thing God wants to give you. And hear this truth. God does not just want you to experience love. He wants you to experience love that reflects His hand. Real love. The kind that God sends will not pull you away from Him. It will push you closer to Him. Real love will not make you compromise who you are. It will confirm who God created you to be. Real love will not belittle you, manipulate you, or dishonor you. It will lift you, protect you, and strengthen you. Real love will stand in storms, endure trials, and grow stronger with time because it was established by God and not by human deception. That is why God removes fake love first, because fake love has no roots in truth. It cannot survive the seasons of testing. It cannot endure the fire of purification. It collapses under the weight of trials. But when God builds something, it lasts. When God plants something, it grows. When God ordains something, it cannot be shaken. Some of you are still holding on to fake love because it felt good for a moment. But temporary pleasure is not worth permanent damage. God does not want you tied to what is temporary. He wants you anchored in what is eternal. That is why the removal hurts so deeply. It is God pulling your heart away from the illusion you thought was real. And the pain you feel is the tearing apart of what was never meant to be joined in the first place. You may call it heartbreak, but in the language of heaven, it is healing. You may call it loss, but in the wisdom of God, it is liberation. You may call it rejection, but in the vision of eternity, it is redirection. Do not despise the season of loneliness after God removes fake love. Loneliness is not emptiness, it is preparation. Loneliness is the place where God refines you, strengthens you, and teaches you how to stand without leaning on the wrong shoulders. Loneliness is where you learn to hear God's voice without the noise of manipulation. Loneliness is where you discover your own worth independent of false validation. And when you emerge from that place, you are no longer desperate for just any love. You are ready for the right love. You are no longer deceived by appearances. You discern by truth. You are no longer weak and searching. You are strong and waiting. And then, in the perfect time, God brings what is real. Not a counterfeit, not an imitation, not a temporary distraction, but kind of love that carries His mark, His blessing, and His stability. Let me tell you, when God sends real love, you will not need to beg for consistency. You will not need to fight for attention. You will not need to question loyalty. Because real love speaks with actions, not just empty words. Real love does not vanish when tested. It grows stronger. Real love does not drain you. It fills you. Real love does not weaken your faith. It strengthens your walk with God. That is why He cannot allow fake love to stay. If He let it remain, it would block the blessing. It would poison your perception. It would make you unready for the real thing. God removes it because He loves you too much to let you remain bound to a lie. My friend, let me tell you something that the world does not want you to understand. Fake love often looks like a blessing at first. It comes wrapped in sweetness, but inside it carries poison. It arrives in your life like light, but its glow is only a reflection of the fire that will burn you later. Fake love makes promises it never intends to keep. It raises your expectations only to break them. It whispers loyalty while planning betrayal. And if you trust it too long, it will not just waste your time. It will wound your heart, shake your faith, and make you question your worth. But God, in His mercy, will not let His chosen ones stay deceived forever. He will tear away the disguise. He will reveal the heart behind the smile. He will let the lies unravel until you see the truth for yourself. Do you see the hand of God in this? Because it is not your wisdom that uncovers the fake. It is God's light. It is not your strength that breaks the chain. It is God's intervention. You may think you discovered the betrayal, but God orchestrated the moment for your protection. You may believe you uncovered the lie, but God exposed it so you could walk free. That is why you must not mourn when false love is removed. You must thank God that you were not left blinded. God could have let you stay deceived. He could have let you continue down the path of destruction. But His love for you is too great to let you waste your life on what was never meant to remain. And let me remind you, real love will never come until fake love is gone. If your heart is still clinging to the counterfeit, it has no room for what is true. If your eyes are still fixed on what God removed, you will not see what He is sending. If your hands are still holding the fragments of what was broken, you cannot receive the gift of what is whole. This is why God removes first. He tears away the false to prepare you for the genuine. He clears out the imitation to make space for the authentic. He empties your hands so he can fill them with something greater. You may say, but it hurts. Why does it hurt so much if it was never real? The answer is simple. Because you invested your heart, your time, your trust, your energy. Even if it was false, your heart was still involved. But listen, pain is not proof that it was real. Pain is proof that you cared. And God saw your care. God saw your tears. God saw your faithfulness. And He will not let that be wasted. Every tear you cried is counted. Every sleepless night you endured is remembered. Every cry of your heart is heard, and God will restore you. Not with the same thing you lost, but with something far greater. Fake love often teaches you the value of real love. God allows the counterfeit so you can recognize the genuine. Without betrayal, you would not recognize loyalty. Without dishonor, you would not appreciate respect. Without manipulation, you would not know the power of sincerity. That is why even in the pain, there is purpose. Even in the loss, there is gain. Even in the ending, there is a beginning. For God does not remove without reason. He does not cut away without purpose. He does not end without preparing for a new start. And hear me clearly, the love that God sends is never rushed, never forced, never deceptive. It comes in His timing, not yours. It comes in His way, not the world's way. It comes with His peace, not with confusion. It comes with His blessing, not with hidden destruction. And when it comes, you will not have to beg for it, fight for it, or question it. It will stand firm because it was built by God Himself. This is why you must not go back to what God has ended. Do not dig up what He has buried. Do not chase after what He has removed. Do not try to rebuild what He has torn down. Because when God removes fake love, He is saving you from destruction. If you go back, you are running into the very fire He rescued you from. If you chase after it, you are fighting against His protection. If you try to restore it, you are opposing His will. And no blessing can come from disobedience. Trust God enough to let go. Trust Him enough to surrender. Trust Him enough to say, if you removed it, I will release it. If you ended it, I will not try to revive it. If you close the door, I will not force it open. Do you know why some people never find real love? It is not because God has not prepared it for them. It is because they are still chained to the counterfeit. They are still looking backward instead of forward. They are still feeding the past while starving their future. And God in His mercy waits for them to let go before He releases the greater. You cannot carry the weight of both. You cannot embrace the false and the true at the same time. You must choose. And when you choose to trust God, when you release what He has removed, when you surrender to His wisdom, then the path is clear for real love to enter. And understand this, real love is not perfect, but it is purified. It is not without challenges, but it is grounded in God. It is not without storms, but it stands because God holds it together. And when you have it, you will look back and thank God for every removal, every ending, every heartbreak. Because without the fake, you would not have found the real. Without the loss, you would not have received the gain. Without the pain, you would not have discovered the joy. God's plan is always bigger than your pain. His wisdom is always greater than your confusion. His purpose is always stronger than your emotions. Trust Him. My friend, the reason so many people fall into despair when God removes fake love is because they confuse delay with denial. They think if God took this person away, maybe I will never be loved. Maybe I will always be alone. Maybe I will never find what I hoped for. But that is a lie whispered by fear, not the truth spoken by faith. God does not take away to leave you empty. He takes away to prepare you. God does not withhold to abandon you. He withholds to refine you. God is never late, never careless, never unmindful of your heart. He knows the desires you carry. He knows the cries you have spoken in secret. He knows the longing that lives inside you. and He will not forget you. He will not overlook you. But He will not give you what is real while you are still clinging to what is fake. Fake love is often the enemy's distraction sent to detour you from the greater that God has prepared. It entangles your heart, drains your strength, and keeps you tied to the wrong person at the wrong time. And while you are consumed with the counterfeit, the true blessing cannot arrive. That is why God cuts it off. He knows that if you stayed bound, you would miss what was destined. He knows that if you kept walking with the wrong one, you would never cross paths with the right one. So He tears it away, not to punish you, but to align you. He breaks the tie, not to break your spirit, but to save your future. And you must see it for what it truly is, divine surgery. God is the great healer. And sometimes healing requires cutting. Sometimes restoration requires removal. Sometimes freedom requires separation. You cannot keep the infection and still be healthy. You cannot hold on to poison and still expect to thrive. You cannot cling to what corrupts and still receive what heals. So God cuts away even when you scream, even when you resist, even when you beg Him to let you hold on, because He sees what you cannot see. He knows what you cannot know. He understands what you cannot comprehend. He knows that fake love will not only hurt you now, it will destroy you later. Some of you are in the middle of this removal right now. You feel abandoned, but you are actually being guarded. You feel rejected, but you are actually being redirected. You feel broken, but you are actually being rebuilt. And the very thing you think is ending your story is the hand of God writing a new chapter. He is not closing the book. He is preparing the climax. He is not silencing your song. He is tuning your voice for a greater melody. He is not cutting you off from love. He's clearing the path for real love to arrive. And let me tell you this with all the fire of conviction in my soul. When real love arrives, you will understand why the fake had to go. You will look back and thank God for every tear, every heartbreak, every disappointment, because it all prepared you to recognize the genuine. You will see that if the fake had remained, it would have kept you blind, kept you trapped, kept you from ever seeing the beauty of what God truly had for you. What you thought was loss was protection. What you thought was rejection was mercy. What you thought was punishment was preparation. Fake love often comes first because the enemy tries to plant weeds before the harvest of God can grow. But do not be deceived. A weed cannot become wheat. A counterfeit cannot become authentic. A distraction cannot become destiny. And so God allows the fake to reveal itself. And then He removes it because the field must be clear before the harvest can come. If you cling to the weeds, you will miss the wheat. If you hold on to the false, you will never receive the true. This is why trust in God is the foundation of everything. Without trust, you will keep chasing what He has removed. Without trust, you will keep clinging to what He has ended. Without trust, you will keep crying over what He has delivered you from. But when you trust God, you stop fighting against His hand. You stop questioning His timing. You stop doubting His plan. You say, God, I may not understand, but I will trust. I may not see the full picture, but I believe you are painting it. I may not feel the blessing yet, but I know you are preparing it. That trust is the soil in which real love grows. And let us not forget, real love does not come from the world. It comes from God. The world offers you imitations, distractions, and illusions. The world tells you that love is just feeling, appearance, or convenience. But God's definition of love is deeper. It is rooted in faithfulness, sacrifice, patience, respect, and truth. Real love does not vanish when times are hard. It holds tighter. Real love does not wound you with lies. It shields you with honesty. Real love does not compete with God. It aligns with His will. Real love is not just about being loved. It is about being guided closer to the purpose God has for you. My friend, never forget that God's wisdom is far beyond your understanding. When He removes fake love from your life, It may feel like devastation, but in reality, it is divine construction. You see only the demolition of what you once cherished, but God sees the foundation being cleared for what will endure. You see only the ashes of what has burned away, but God sees the soil being prepared for seeds that will produce a harvest of joy, stability, and peace. God is not careless with your heart. God does not play games with your destiny. If He allowed something to end, it is because He has already prepared something greater. And what He has prepared will not slip through your hands like sand. For what God builds, no one can destroy. And what God blesses, no one can curse. Fake love often comes with noise, drama, and confusion. It keeps you up at night questioning, doubting, wondering if you are enough, wondering if they are true. That is not love. That is bondage. Real love, the kind that God sends, comes with clarity, not chaos. It comes with peace, not torment. It comes with security, not fear. And that is why God, in His infinite mercy, does not allow you to remain in what confuses your soul. He pulls you out even if you resist, because He knows that confusion is not from Him. God is not the author of disorder. He is the author of peace. There are some of you listening to these words right now who are still mourning the one God removed. You think you lost your future when they left. You think your worth diminished when they betrayed you. You think your life is empty because they are no longer in it. But let me tell you the truth. Your worth does not decrease because someone failed to see it. Your destiny does not vanish because someone walked away from it. Your value is not defined by the love that left. It is defined by the love of God that remained. And as long as God is with you, you are never empty. As long as God is guiding you, your story is never over. As long as God is working, your future is still alive. Stop mourning what God has already delivered you from. Stop chasing what God has already removed. Stop watering what God has already uprooted. For if you try to hold on to what He ended, you will block what He is sending. If you keep running back to the counterfeit, you will miss the arrival of the authentic. If you keep tying yourself to the fake, you will never embrace the real. Release it. Trust God. Let Him have His way. For when you finally surrender, when you finally let go, when you finally open your hands, that is when God can place the real blessing into your life. And here it is, God's timing is perfect. Real love cannot come too early, or you will not be ready. It cannot come too late, or you will despair. It comes exactly when God has prepared you and aligned your path. Do not rush Him. Do not demand what you are not ready to carry. Do not cry for a blessing while still clinging to the burden of the past. Trust that God knows when your heart is healed enough to receive, when your spirit is strong enough to embrace, when your path is clear enough to welcome. His timing is not designed to frustrate you. It is designed to protect you. Sometimes the delay is not because God has not prepared the blessing, but because He is still preparing you. He is building your patience. He is strengthening your faith. He is teaching you discernment, so that when the real arrives, you will not confuse it with the counterfeit. He is refining your heart, so that you will not sabotage what He gives you with the wounds of yesterday. He is healing you, so that you will not bleed on the one He sends to love you. You may not see the process, but God is working in silence. While you are waiting, He is aligning. While you are praying, He is arranging. While you are crying, He is writing your testimony. Fake love often teaches us what not to accept. God allows it so you will never again fall for empty promises. So you will never again mistake flattery for sincerity. So you will never again settle for less than what He has ordained. When you finally meet what is real, you will recognize it because you will have tasted the bitterness of the faith, and you will cherish it, not take it for granted. That is why the pain had to come first. That is why the loss had to happen. That is why the separation had to take place. Because without it, you would not be able to see the beauty of what is real. And let me tell you, when God finally sends what is real, you will not have to chase it. You will not have to beg for it. You will not have to question it day and night. It will be steady. It will be sure. It will be firm, because God Himself will be the foundation. It will carry His peace. It will shine with His light. It will endure with His strength. And when storms come, it will not collapse, because what God builds cannot be shaken. My beloved, when the weight of life presses down on your chest and when your mind is clouded by the whispers of doubt, remember this eternal truth. God is closer to you than your very breath. He has never abandoned you. He has never turned His face away from you. You may feel the sting of betrayal, the loneliness of being misunderstood, or the crushing pressure of burdens you cannot explain. But in that very moment, God is watching. God is listening. And God is preparing to lift you higher than you have ever been before. Do not think for a moment that the trials you face are meaningless. No, they are divinely measured, carefully allowed, and purposefully designed to sharpen your faith, to strengthen your endurance, and to cleanse your heart of reliance on anything other than God. What seems like a storm meant to destroy you is actually the wind that will carry you to new horizons. When people turn their backs, when friends vanish, when support collapses, it is God teaching you that He alone is your rock. He alone is your refuge, and He alone is your deliverer. Beloved, you must learn this sacred discipline to keep your eyes fixed on God when the world is trying to distract you. The whispers of gossip, the sting of insults, the cruelty of jealous hearts, these are but tests. Do not allow them to enter your soul. Rise above them, for when you remain silent before ignorance and keep your heart connected to God, you are not weak. You are powerful. You are showing the world that your trust is not in human opinion, but in the divine judgment of God, who sees what no one else sees and knows what no one else knows. And hear this truth with every beat of your heart. God's timing is never late. You may be wondering why you have waited so long for justice, why doors remain closed, why answers seem delayed. But God's delay is not denial. It is preparation. It is protection. It is the unseen hand of mercy ensuring that when the door finally opens, no man will be able to shut it. When the blessing descends, no enemy will be able to block it. When the truth shines, every lie spoken against, you will crumble into dust. My beloved, hear this truth. The presence of God in your life will always expose the schemes of the wicked. When evil people surround you, it is not a sign of your weakness. It is a sign of your strength. For the devil never wastes his weapons on empty vessels. He only attacks those carrying treasure within. The very pressure you feel from those who envy, slander, and betray you is evidence that God has placed something precious inside you. The attacks are proof that you are chosen, that your destiny carries weight, that your light is too bright for the darkness to ignore. But do not let the noise of the wicked trouble your heart. God does not need the approval of men to elevate you. He does not require their permission to bless you. Even if the whole world turns against you, the decree of God will still stand. Remember, when God commands a blessing upon your life, no enemy can cancel it. No whisper can erase it. No lie can undo it. Their words are like smoke in the wind, loud for a moment, but gone without a trace. Yet the word of God is eternal, firm, and unshakable. When you are surrounded by evil, learn to be still and let God fight for you. Do not waste your energy trying to prove yourself to those who have already made up their minds against you. Do not lower yourself to wrestle in the mud with those who are determined to misunderstand you. Instead, lift your head high, anchor your heart in God, and walk in dignity. For silence before the wicked is louder than 1,000 arguments. The calmness of your spirit under attack is itself a weapon forged by God. Do not be deceived into thinking that evil people have the upper hand. Their plots may be clever, but they are not greater than the wisdom of God. Their numbers may be many, but they cannot outnumber the armies of heaven. Their voices may be loud, but they cannot silence the command of the Almighty. Even in the dens of lions, God will shut the mouths of those who rise against His servant. Even in the furnace of fire, God will preserve those who trust in Him. And even in the valley of the shadow of death, He His light will guide and protect His chosen one. Therefore, when evil surrounds you, remember this: God surrounds you more. The enemies may circle you, but God encircles them. They may plan in secret, but God sees in secret and exposes every hidden snare. They may rise in hatred, but God rises in justice. And when God arises, who can stand against Him? The world itself trembles, mountains melt, and nations bow when He stretches forth His hand. So take courage, walk boldly, live unshaken. Let them talk, let them conspire, let them gather. None of it can undo what God has written for you. When you remain steadfast, when you refuse to bend under their pressure, you are testifying to the greatness of God within you. And in due time, He will lift you higher than the very people who sought your downfall. Their jealousy will turn to shame, their laughter to silence, their hatred to defeat. For no weapon formed against you shall prosper when God is your defender. My beloved, when you feel pressed on every side by the schemes of those who plot against you, do not despair. For God has already written the end of your story before your enemies ever began their plans. What they think is a trap will become the very platform upon which God lifts you higher. Every insult, every betrayal, every whisper spoken in the shadows will be turned into a testimony of God's unfailing protection over your life. The words of men are temporary, but the decree of God is eternal. Do not waste your strength fighting with those who cannot see the light in you, for their blindness is not your burden. Instead, anchor yourself in God's wisdom. When they mock you, be silent. When they provoke you, remain calm. When they attempt to pull you down, rise above by keeping your trust firm in God. For silence in the face of evil is not weakness, it is strength. It is the quiet roar of a soul that knows the Almighty is fighting unseen battles on its behalf. Remember, God has promised that no weapon formed against you shall prosper. This means weapons will be formed, arrows will be released, storms will come, but none will prevail when God is your shield. Your enemies may gather together, but if God does not permit, not a single plan of theirs can take root. Their tongues will tire, their efforts will crumble, and their schemes will collapse under the weight of God's justice. So walk boldly, walk fearlessly, and walk with dignity, for you are not alone. The presence of God surrounds you like a fortress. He has placed His hand over you, and no force in the heavens or the earth can overturn what God has decreed for you. Those who rise against you will stumble. Those who curse, you will find their curses returned upon themselves. And those who dig a pit for you will fall into it by their own doing. Lift your head high, for your life is not in the hands of men. It is in the hands of God. He knows every tear you have shed, every pain you have endured, and every injustice you have faced. And in His perfect timing, He will vindicate you. When God raises you, no one can bring you down. When God favors you, no one can deny you. When God protects you, no one can harm you. My friend, hold this truth deep within your heart. Your defense does not come from your words, your strength, or your plans. It comes from God alone. And when God defends you, the entire universe will bear witness that His power is unmatched, and His will cannot be overturned. My beloved, there is a sacred strength that rises within the soul when it learns to rest fully in God's control. The storms may rage. The whispers of enemies may echo around you. The world may try to weigh you down with burdens. But when your heart is anchored in God, nothing can uproot you. Do you not see? Every hardship is but a test. Every obstacle, a divine lesson. Every delay, a preparation. God does not abandon those who put their trust in Him. He lifts them higher, refinances them deeper, and strengthens them for battles they did not even know were ahead. When evil surrounds you, it is not the sign of your weakness. It is the evidence of your strength. For why would the enemy gather against someone who is powerless? They gather because they see God's hand upon your life, and they tremble at what you are becoming. So stand firm. Do not let fear seize your heart. For fear is a thief of faith. God has not written your destiny for defeat. He has written it for triumph, for honor, for glory that comes only from Him. The night may seem long, but the dawn of God's deliverance is always closer than you think. Lift your eyes from what men plot in secret and fix your gaze on what God declares in the open. People may slander your name, but God will honor your character. They may block your path, but God will part the sea before you. They may rejoice at your pain, but God will turn that very pain into the foundation of your greatness. Every tear you shed before Him is seen. Every prayer you whisper is heard, and every struggle you endure is shaping you into someone far stronger than you were yesterday. So walk boldly, speak truth with conviction, live with the unshakable assurance that the one who formed the heavens and the earth is guiding your steps. Let them watch, let them whisper, let them conspire. It does not matter. For when God is with you, no hand raised against you will prosper. The voices of falsehood will fade. The schemes of the wicked will crumble. But the power of God will stand forever. Hold on to Him, for He alone is your refuge, your shield, and your unbreakable fortress. Beloved, as we bring this message to a close, I want you to remember this one truth. No matter who rises against you, no matter how many voices whisper lies behind your back, no matter how dark the schemes of evil become, God remains your shield, your defender, and your refuge. You are not abandoned. You are not forgotten. And you are not weak. You are upheld by the hand of the Almighty, and no weapon formed against you shall prosper. When gossip spreads, let your silence speak of your trust in God. When envy surrounds you, let your peace reveal your confidence in His plan. When lies are thrown like arrows, let your faith be the shield that blocks them. The tongues of men cannot cancel the destiny God has written for you. Their words may rise like waves, but the command of God stills every storm. Their plots may run deep, but God's wisdom is deeper still. So walk with courage. Do not waste your breath answering every slander, for God Himself answers for His people. Do not let the noise of men distract you from the voice of the one who called you. Lift your head high, for you are guarded by the King of all creation. Let this be your resolve. I will not bow to fear. I will not be shaken by gossip. I will not lose heart when surrounded by envy. I will stand firm in the truth that God is my protector, my vindicator, and my everlasting guide. Go forth, then, with unshakable faith, life as one who knows that the eyes of God are upon you. The hands of God are with you, and the favor of God will never depart from you. For in Him and through Him alone, you are unbreakable.